Well, hello, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We have just come off of I'm going to go so far as to say a devastating ice storm. And the only reason I say that is that last Saturday, we started to experience an ice storm that was forecast, and we were to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 millimeters of freezing rain, and that certainly did happen. And it knocked down a lot of trees. It blocked off a number of cities. City of Aurelia, city of Barrie, just in Ontario, Canada, declared states of emergency within those centers, and primarily for the reason of just suggesting to the residents to stay off the road. There were power lines down on the road, and the biggest problem of all is the fact that the power lines were down. And that really isn't a huge concern for me and for us as a family. We have a generator in the house, and most of the house runs on the generator. So the furnace is still running, albeit it was very, very cold out. For some people, it was really quite a bad thing. And then, of course, the lights work and the hot water works, and our water system or water purification system works, and all the basic necessities of life are there. But the one thing that was really missing, and I didn't notice this until Monday, of course, that ice storm started on Saturday afternoon, early evening kind of thing, was the fact that we didn't have internet. And so my message getting out to all of you via email and on social media was spotty and challenging. And if you read some of my posts and you saw some of the pictures that I did post out there, the challenge was me finding an internet connection. So I did go to the college and university where I teach at, and they were closed, but would allow me to go in and be able to use the brief period of time that I needed internet to be able to populate my social media, which is the reason why we're talking about this one today. And that's leveraging apps and technology for you to be able to capitalize on getting more done in 4 hours than average ordinary automobile salespeople do in a day, week, month, or even a year, if in fact they get as much done as you will be doing in a lifetime. In other words, they never do it. And this is the challenge that we all experience, that when these external circumstances start forcing their weight and their pressure down on our shoulders, some of us just roll up in a ball and give up, while others rise above that crowd, rise above the feed. And a lot of my competitors, interestingly enough, I intentionally bumped into a dealer yesterday who is coming on board as a client. So we'll have a bunch more new clients. And for all of those of you that have now migrated over from the Auto Sales Academy to the Auto Dealership Academy as a paying client, welcome. If you're still watching me here on the Auto Sales Academy, then you missed the class this morning at 10 o'clock, which is perfectly fine. It's recorded. You'll be able to access it unlisted on our YouTube channel, and I will give you the link. Thank you so much for joining me. Last week's special promotion went over really, really well, way better than expected. I'm enamored and honored by all of you that took me up on that. And for those of you that haven't, feel free to reach out to me to find out what that special promotion was, what the deal is now, and more importantly, get on board, invest in yourself, take the opportunity to get the Figure Manifesto, and make 2025 the best year it can possibly be for you. We are certainly challenged, unquestionably. And that's what I was going to say. The ice storm really slowed things down for those of us that live in Ontario, Canada, and especially in the central region. And it was a big area affected. Yesterday, while doing a presentation at a Ford dealership and bringing that sales team of 22 on board, we got freezing rain and ice pellets. And for a lot of those parents, very concerned with children that had to get home from school or had children at home because the schools are closed, and the caregiver or mom or dad or grandma and grandpa are looking after them. They're worried about driving home in a safe environment. I don't blame them for doing so. We can do a lot of what I'm talking about today virtually from home. However, without the internet, as I was alluding to in the very beginning, it was really quite funny. What I did, and everything starts with an attitude. And more importantly than the technology, and more importantly than the prospect of staying in front of your clients and being top of mind and leveraging the fantastic applications that I will talk about, is having that winning attitude. Monday, it wasn't great driving, but it was considerably better than Sunday. And while the state of emergency was still in play, there were not any hydro lines going across the roadway, and the freezing rain had melted at that point, and it was very reasonable for us to be on the roadway. I drove around looking for a hotspot with my phone, literally my phone on the dash, looking for a hotspot because I wanted to get this message out to you. And the beauty of the apps such as Hootsuite, MeetEdgar, and Sendible, by the way, if you're seeing the camera light go in and out as I am watching all the monitors and the cameras of YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, it's because we don't have any power. So the lighting that you're seeing in my mini studio here that I always facilitate this class from is all natural light coming from outside. There is no hydro and obviously hydroelectric lighting that can complement and fill it in. Quite frankly, looking at the monitor, it looks great. So I hope it looks good for you too. By constantly positioning ourselves out in front of our clients, even though they are so distracted with these other events, but in those moments where they're winding down, where they're thinking to themselves, it's time to go to bed, it's time to go to sleep, or they're sitting at the chiropractor, the physio office, the doctor, the dentist, whatever lineup that they're currently in, sitting on I guess public transit, and they want to move forward to buy their own automobile so they could drive peacefully, listening to their own music, setting the climate and comfort control at their own temperature. By you having the ability to reach out and get in the palm of their hand through their mobile phone is just fantastic. You know, I'm pretending like my hand is my mobile phone when it's right here. By having that freedom and flexibility for them to be able to see your message, that even during those extenuating circumstances such as the ice storm where we don't have power, we don't have the internet, is not a reason for us to stop trying and looking for the ability to get out there. If you created, as I will share with you in seconds, well, let's get into it right now. If you want to create 100 posts, both stories and reels on Instagram, you can do so quickly and easily with Canva. Canva is I'm going to say it's a web designer application software system that you can get easily and quickly. You can go with the free version or you can go with the pro version. It's not expensive at all. I'm not endorsing it in any way, in any stretch of the imagination, in any way, shape, or form. I am a Canva user, have been for a long period of time. I've looked at all of them and just decided that this one was the most robust. This one was the most capable. By being able to select the perfect platform version and layout that the platform is going to accept instantly and quickly so that your advertisement, be it organic or paid, doesn't get blocked and you get the message out there, because that's what's all about, being top of mind. So by going to canva.com and registering for an account, you can quickly and easily see all the templates that are there. You can search templates for the car business. Lots of rent a car and car sales and cars on sale, and offer ending soon pops up quickly and easily. They'll have pre-made templates with images on there that you can change that image, take original stock photographs of your inventory on ground, and then upload that to Canva, and then you simply drag and drop that image in. I mean, they couldn't have made it any easier. It is absolutely perfect. Some of the most successful designers that I know of that are definitely influenced on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube use Canva. Their examples will be with Canva. The beauty of it is it's controlled by your mouse. And so if you're doing it on mobile, your mouse is going to be your finger. And the easier that functionality works, obviously, the more trust that you will have with it, and your life gets easier. Because what we need to do with all of these apps and with all of this technology, while trying to be top of mind, understand, but by freeing up our time to be able to look after phone calls, emails, and walk-ins, and this time of the year, regardless of where you live in North America, is absolutely critical. This is our time to make hay while the sun is shining. That this is when customers start coming in. The winter season is now over, and it's officially over. Spring sprung back in March anyhow. Once we get through the next couple of days of some pretty wild weather, even for Canada and the northern US states, Once we get through that, it's probably going to be, albeit a stormy beginning to the spring, but feel much more spring-like for our clients. And this is where they think that there's not as much salt being dumped on the roadway, so now it's a good time for me to buy. And your social media can speak to that as well. You could talk about how much salt was dumped on our roadways this year, or how long the winter lasted, or how many accidents took place, or how many automobiles that were involved in accidents didn't have winter tires or were not all-wheel drive capable automobiles. All of which just furnishes you with a ton of material that you could now go to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, will you kindly give me 25 reasons to buy my product, 25 reasons to deal with me, and 25 reasons to buy new versus keeping the old vehicle that they're currently driving. And that's how you build your value bridge in order to be able to get people in and for them to want to buy from you. Because if you're always talking about buy from me, we've got 0% financing on, we've got 4% financing on, now's a great time to buy. If you don't get in now with the vehicles that we have that don't have tariffs on, you're just going to pay more when the tariffs do come into play, or when the steel price goes up and then the vehicles are produced at a higher cost than what they currently are. While it may be true, and while that may be good advice that you're providing for your clients, it is also seen as opportunistic, and therefore it is our commission breath coming out. So if you could find the reasons why somebody would purchase right now, and then the icing on the cake being the slight push that they need to get over that hurdle of purchasing a vehicle now, could be, you're making the right decision, because when the new price of steel kicks in, you can count on one thing: the price of the automobile just simply goes up. And keep in mind, even without tariffs being in place, and without the price of steel going up, and even outside of the hyperinflation that we experienced throughout the inventory shortage, during the time period of the early 90s in the automobile business, I experienced price increases sometimes on a monthly basis based on the exchange rate of the dollar between Canada and the US. And I would imagine that the exact same thing happened in the United States as well. That has nothing to do with tariffs. It was all to do with the fluctuating dollar amount of the exchange rate. And so this is nothing really new, albeit it creates another hurdle, and it's a way for a customer to recognize that we don't have an objection to overcome the fact that tariffs will simply make vehicles more expensive. But what's the hot button? What's really making them want to do this? And so you could go to the application of OpenAI or Gemini, and you could type in, what are the 25 reasons why someone would buy my product in the marketplace brand new. And you just have to say your product. You don't have to compare it to anything else. If you want to expand your search and you want to create even more media planning that you can spear your customers with, and spearing is a fantastic tactic that you can do. Spearing is just as it sounds. If you were to pick up a spear right now and you had to throw it at a target, my guess is, if you have never done this activity before, if you've never done this sport, you wouldn't be very good at it. And I'm not good at it either. Like, I'm not saying for a second I do this on a regular basis. Spearing is my sport. That's my activity. It is not. I mean, my arm wouldn't even look natural trying to throw it. I'm not a baseball player. I was a football player and a rugby player, so I know how to throw a football, but a baseball, that requires a whole different muscle group and technique to do so. And spear, I would imagine throwing a spear or a javelin is going to be very similar. So by spearing your clients, what you're going to do, just like throwing a spear at a target, your client is the target. If you sent one message via social media, and that could be that you're just posting to the feed. Remember where your feed goes. It goes to your friends, family, and followers, and then it's geo-fenced by your particular area. So it's not really going very far at all. And because you're not posting something that is highly entertaining, be it a fail or informative, being news and secretive, or being really entertaining, like that's an amazing way to, I don't know, use a shoelace to open a jar where the cap is screwed on too tightly. That's not, if your information doesn't have that level of viral capability, then the algorithm is not going to recognize you as a consistent poster and something that is absolutely mind-blowing to push out into the marketplace. Having said that, there's always a chance that you could get discovered. I do know of a business here in town that has nothing to do with the automobile business in my city, and someone through a friend of a friend that is close to me who was returning from a holiday and being interviewed by a national station in the United States of America, questioning about travel and the freedom of travel and how much you will come down to the United States now that the trade war is on. Her comment went viral. And she's not a social media influence by any stretch of the imagination. She's a business owner, and nobody really has a reason why, other than the fact that she spoke really well and said the truth, and it wasn't offensive to either country or people, and it was responding to a journalist looking for red hot topic of conversation from a very, very attractive blonde lady at the airport. And that's, I think, how it actually happened. So you could go viral. There's no question that there isn't the possibility of happening, but that shouldn't be your attention either. So if you live on the West Coast, you're not looking to attract people from New York. If you live in Northern Ontario, you're not looking to attract people who live in Texas. You want the geofence opportunity within your community, and Canva will give you that, in the sense, not the geofencing, but when it gets pushed over to the application, the format of your story or the reel that you choose. So you can turn a story into an animated effect on Canva, and that becomes, or it gets saved to your desktop, laptop, or your smartphone or tablet as an MP4. Therefore, you've now created a reel. And this is how average, ordinary automobile salespeople in your area are hacking you. And this is exactly what we talk about in step number 9, leveraging apps and technology of our 1 system, 3 phases, and 9 steps. That you can very quickly and easily create 200 posts and reels utilizing a few pictures at your dealership of the vehicles that you've got, and then add to it either music, and you'll get that from Canva, or you could add your own music. Make sure it's not copywritten, because you will get shut down very quickly, and either the reel won't play with music, or if you do it frequently enough and you don't recognize the suggestions from the platform to not do that, then they will shut you down. But the bottom line is, you could speak into it. You could use an app that I'm enamored with and use on a regular basis for our advertisements, called Teleprompter. You'll find this on any app store at Apple or Play Store at Android. And Teleprompter is a wonderful feature because I know the greatest challenge that you have, and that is standing in front of the camera and what am I going to say? And while your pictures of customers taking delivery of their automobile and driving away is fantastic, it's also boring. Now, if that gets you started, then I don't want to discourage you from doing it. But if you've been selling automobiles for a while now, and you've been posting your deliveries of your customers for a year or so, then you're well on your way and familiar with pressing the red button to learn more about how you could create social proof by now not only having the picture of your clients taking delivery of their automobile, but leveraging Teleprompter, where they can read a script on the screen so that they don't feel like they look silly, foolish, or say something contentious, which could be misinterpreted as overt hostility and go viral and be counterproductive to everything that you want to do. Yeah, you want to create publicity for yourself. And while any publicity is good publicity, you have to have shoulders as broad and wide as a Mack truck to be able to handle that negative publicity. So I'm not encouraging you to chase any kind of publicity. I would never suggest for a second that you enter into covertly hostile discussions or overtly hostile discussions, but take your social media endeavor Let's call it that. It's not a campaign. You're not paying for something. You haven't strategically put together a marketing campaign with a hook story and an offer. And just leverage what you currently have with the technology in the palm of your hand, such that your social proof works for you by adding the customer satisfaction indicator or your customer experience score to the picture. Put that in the story to the picture that you've taken of your people taking delivery. But more importantly than that, I alluded to the fact that teleprompter, you could create a script for your customers taking deliver their automobile. And now just holding the camera very, very still, holding your phone really, really still, not moving at all, so that the image is very stable, and the only thing that's moving around is the customer, which looks good and animated, but my background is solid. This shelf with two cars sitting on isn't moving around, or it's shaky, because that can make some people feel like the room is moving and therefore they get seasick. You can get them to read the script and they sound great. And if they do flub, or they say or ah, or they lose their line as the words travel up the screen, you can stop and you can start over again, delete that one until they get it right. And now when their friends and family see how excited they are about purchasing the automobile right in the dealership or your delivery or outside, or even if they said, I'll try to do it at home. I feel just a little awkward here at the dealership. Quite frankly, I'm too excited to be able to do it anyway. And so you could suggest that they download the teleprompter app. It is free. And that you could email them the script and they would copy and paste the script into the teleprompter app. They may love the fact that you've introduced them to this kind of technology. Maybe they could use it for something else as well, and they'll look like a hero in their social circle. And it's a win-win all the way around. You get this magnificent video testimonial, and they're out there telling everyone about how terrific teleprompter is, and they got it from you, their automobile salesperson, who's using it for a customer testimonial of social proof. They could probably use it in their own business and their company. And this is how you get to be top of mind as a trusted, know, like, and trust salesperson that isn't always promoting this commission breath. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Do you want to buy it? Do you like it? Would you like to go with it? How soon did you want to buy it? Who else is making the decision with it? All of which are fine closing tactics. But when you leverage them out of place, when you use them when they're just not ready to be asked those questions, it kind of sounds like you don't believe that every shopper is a buyer. And second of all, you're challenging this shopper whether they're wasting your time and whether you should deal with them or not. So try not to fall into that trap. When you do consult ChatGPT or OpenAI, Apple Intelligence, and Gemini to help you create a perfect script of poetic prose, and then you put that into the teleprompter app and you video that app for yourself, you could do several of these. You can chop that up. If you're doing a walk around presentation, you could talk about the 10 features that are at the front of the vehicle without even opening the hood. You can talk about 10 features under the hood. You can talk about 10 features of the passenger side, the back of the car, in the cargo carrying area of the vehicle, and then in the driver's side, in the cockpit, looking at the dash. You could have, golly, 60 shorts that you could populate a YouTube channel in no time. Remember, you only need, now how many shorts do you need to get to be monetized? I think you need upward in the millions. So it's going to take you a little while to get there. But remember, you could do 10 shorts a day times 365 days of the year gets you to 3,000 in a real hurry. So if you did more than 10, and shorts are less than 60 seconds, and I would even encourage you to go less than 15 seconds. So now you can cross-pollinate with Instagram and your YouTube channel if you want to do that. Or you start with Instagram and then you push it over to YouTube afterwards. Whatever the case is, however you go about doing it, you're going to want to leverage Hootsuite, MeetEdgar, Sendible, or Buffer. And there's Planoly, and there's automatic scheduling with LinkedIn now, and there has been with Facebook for a year or so. The wonderful thing with the automated scheduler is now you're pushing out your top of mind message on social media while you're taking telephone calls of customers reaching out to you on the phone, or e-leads through email, or walking into the dealership. And that is the secret to all of my teachings throughout this, our one system of 3 phases and 9 steps, that we need to be ready for those friendly customer interruptions as soon as they happen. That's how average, ordinary automobile salespeople fail. And this is where average, ordinary automobile sales training and trainers has and is failing us to this day, that what they teach, albeit effective and helpful product presentations, negotiation, and closing, assumes a full pipeline of shoppers. And so what we've got with our social media, leveraging apps and technology, isn't just social media marketing and advertising. That happens both in prospect harvesting, step number 4, as well as in leveraging apps and technology for you to be able to constantly be the person that people think about when they go to buy an automobile. Having a website is good. In fact, it's great if you have your own website, but it's not enough. Having a page on Facebook or on Instagram or on TikTok is good, but it's not enough. Having a YouTube channel is great, but it's not enough, because you got to populate it. And then when you start driving people to all these areas, it's got to look polished, and it's got to be worthwhile. And when I say that with, take that with a grain of salt, because what I don't want you to do is hold back. What I don't want you to do is stop and go, it's too much. I can't do all this. Like, yeah, I know I should. I know it would help me. I know it would be worthwhile. I know my boss wants me to do so. It's way too much. Just do one platform. There is a brewery in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, right downtown at the old train station. We're talking about the 1800s train station. Like, this is way back, and it's just south of the Rogers Centre. If you've been to Toronto, you know exactly what I'm talking about, just south of the convention center. And the train station is owned by the brewery Steam Whistle. And Steam Whistle has a slogan: do one thing really, really well. And I couldn't agree with them more. I think that is fantastic. They brew a great beer. I'm very I would say an advocate of theirs. In addition to so many other craft breweries, I'm hesitating and picking my words carefully because I'm a bit of a beer snob, and I don't care who I'm going to offend with that, including the breweries and the owners who have become friends and they brew great beer. But it's nice to have variety. That's all that there is to it. There's lots of great beers. But Steam Whistle, I love that saying. Do one thing really, really well. Sell cars. Sell F-150s. Sell Silverado. Sell Ram. Sell Frontier. Sell Tundra. Really, really, really well. And then branch out to Escape and Trailblazer and Equinox and Terrain and Durango and Grand Wagoneer and RAV4 and CRV and Civic and Corolla and Ridgeline, Highlander, 4Runner, Pilot. The list goes on, right? The one thing that we do poorly is try to be everything to everybody, and don't follow anybody. I'll leave you with this as I wrap this up. And what time is it? I don't want to go over. We're right there at 12 o'clock. It's a half an hour mark. I don't want to take any more time than necessary for you. And reach out to me. I'll put a link down below for us to book a discovery call if you want to know more about this. What I think average, ordinary automobile trainers are doing a very poor job of, because they're not actually doing the work like I am. They've hired a marketing and advertising agency, or marketing, advertising agency, communication agency has come to them and say, hey, look, we're doing all this terrific advertising. The salespeople aren't closing deals. So you've got to go out and tell them how social media works. And they may not really, I think in most cases, know how it, in fact, it works until you dive into it and you start doing campaigns and you understand what the pixel does. And then you go through the activity of getting your ads approved, which is laborious and tedious, especially when they don't get approved and you think you did everything absolutely perfectly and correctly. And that doesn't matter whether you're with Facebook or Google. It happens to both. The bottom line is, pick one platform and do it organically. Utilize it in any way, shape, or form that allows you to do it for free. Just one. Just do it for free. Just keep doing it for free until you really get the idea of how the platform works and all the tools that go along with it, and you're gaining followers, follow me and I'll follow you right back. I'll help you build all your followers up, and go and have a look at the other people that I follow and follow them, and they'll follow you back. A high tide raises all ships. I have competitors following me. I walked into an automobile dealership just last week, and the guy greeted me at the door and said, "Hey, Bill, how's it going?" I had my arms full of workbooks because I was going in to do a mini seminar for a dealer group. And I said, "I'm great. I'll see you up in the boardroom." And then the dealer greeted me, and we all walked up together. And I said, "Is the other guy gonna come in to the session?" He goes, "Oh no, the other guy, that's the private sale guy. He's our host. We've hired him for a private sale." So he was technically my competitor. He knew exactly who I was. He said, "I see your stuff on social media all the time. I absolutely love it." And I'm enamored that he said that. That's fantastic. It's wonderful. Do one thing really, really well. A high tide raises all the ships. And that's what the customer is looking for. They're looking for who they know that knows their stuff. They're looking for someone they can believe and like, and that will generate the trust. If you say, "Trust me, believe me, honestly, sincerely, I'll be straight, I'll be frank with you, I won't lie to you," stop. Stop doing it, because you're going to at some point. You don't need to say it. Trust is earned, never requested. With your social media and leveraging these apps of Canva and Buffer so that you can push that out all the time, Hootsuite, MeetEdgar, Planoly, Facebook scheduling. If you just pick one, Facebook's got the schedule in there. You can pre-populate all of your social media feeds so that you can free yourself up for it. This is the most important part. Free yourself up to take calls, respond to emails, and look after the people walking in the showroom doors. Because as much as those leads that you're trying to chase down, don't be surprised if they come in and buy from you, and 3 hours later, 3 days later, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years later, they say, "You know how I found out about you? I follow all your stuff on social media." Just like the guy at the private sale said, "Bill, I see your stuff all the time. I really like it. You're doing a great job." I didn't know who he was. I'm enamored. And if you are watching this, thank you so much for saying hi. You should have told me what your name was and given me your card. Obviously, we follow each other, because if you follow me, I follow you back. It's just, I think, good practice. It's a lot of fun. Anyhow, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this. If you want to know more about the manifesto, if you want to make 2025 your year to really crush your targets, sell with predictable consistency, if you feel like you're still struggling on the floor, you're coming off the first quarter of the year, you're way behind, you're not on track to make a six-figure income, reach out to me. If you're not getting the support that you desperately need and want on the showroom floor, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you. It's free, 15 minutes, just as Progressive says, could change your life. It really, really could. I'll give you some strategy. I'll share with you tactics instantly, quickly, albeit it's 15 minutes. And if you think you want to know more about it, then let's schedule a strategy call where I'll take you behind the scenes and show you what the online on-demand learning platform is all about. There are hundreds of videos in there, and I don't want that to be bewildering to you. I don't want that to hold you back either. There's no video longer than 10 minutes, so I know I only have so much screen time with you. The bottom line is, you can start and stop on any device, smartphone, tablet, laptop, or desktop. You can resume on another one days, weeks, months later in the exact same place that you stopped at. You can attend the weekly classes the Thursday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and get to interact with me live. In this particular scenario, I'm not allowing you to interact with me live. I'm not responding to questions and comments, largely because each one of the cameras are individual cameras looking at me. I can see the monitor over here and what I look at, but I can't see your comments. But I will respond to your comments. So leave a comment below, please. I really appreciate that. And the bottom line is, if you don't believe that every shopper is a buyer, if you really want to debate with me on the fact that every person coming into your dealership is probably kicking tires, and at some point they will transition over to buyer, then you need to reach out to me immediately, because that's a load of malarkey. That's a ton of bullpucky right there. Every single shopper is a buyer, unquestionably. And you know what they're buying? I'll prove it to you right now. They're buying one of two things. They're either buying your new product, which they came in on. And remember, you did not stand, correct me if I'm wrong, you did not stand at the side of the road with an incredibly powerful vacuum and suck these people off the roadway and force them into purchase a new vehicle. That did not happen. That doesn't happen anywhere to my knowledge. If it is happening, please let me know in the comments, and make sure it's a real comment, no fake news. So you are speaking to people that are always interested in buying your product. And if they don't buy your brand new product, then they're going to be buying the product that they're currently driving. If they've got monthly payments and bi-weekly on that vehicle, they're going to continue paying them. And here's the thing, if you don't keep them alive in the 72-hour cycle, then they'll start thinking about something else that they could have or want. Dirt bikes, ATVs, UTVs, cottage, swanky vacation, a boat, a trailer, whatever the case is. Every shopper is a buyer. Book a call with me. I'll share with you the stepped process, as I have shared with so many of you so many times, that a buyer takes energy expended to get to each step to the point where they reach out to you, either on the phone as an e-lead or walking in. Every shopper is a buyer every single time. And if you don't believe that, then you're spinning your wheels in Mississippi mud, and it's absolutely brutal, and you're going to struggle for a long period of time, and you will not make a six-figure income this year. If you want to make a six-figure income this year, if you're sick and tired of the struggle and you want to get to predictable consistency, reach out to me. Book a call. Just click on the link. Hold your date and time. Make this a priority in your life. After all, it should be. It's your income. I don't know what else other than your own health care. I don't know what else is a priority in your life. But let me help you, just as I've helped Chandler and Kelly and Rebecca and Jen and Dominic and Sean and Lee, and the list goes on and on. You can see those podcasts of those successes. And we've got more coming up as well. I've got a guy coming on board, Dominic Lazaro Sr., Dominic Lazaro Jr. There's a podcast of him, but his dad is coming on board. And this guy sold 60 cars a month. And now he's the general manager and partner in the dealership, and he owns it. And just a great fella, a super interview. We've had a number of chats. So we'll do the interview when he gets back from holidays, and you get to see his zero to hero story as well. He was just like you. And the reason why we connected is he saw my video, me talking about me struggling and building this system and looking inside as opposed to looking outside and blaming all the exterior scenarios, that it comes from in here. Let me help you get past that and invest in yourself. Yes, there is a cost for the program. I'm going to tell you right up front. And if you don't want to pay, get your dealer to pay. If your dealer won't pay, get your mom, your dad to pay. If your mom and dad won't pay, get the bank to pay for it and pay them back through a Visa card. Like, there is no reason why you can't do this other than the fact that you don't want to. And if you don't want to struggle, maybe sometimes it's easier. You're trying to figure out what you don't want in order to arrive at what you do want. If you don't want to struggle, if you don't want to feel like a phony, putting on a suit every day or dressing up and polishing your shoes and driving into the dealership to know full well you're probably not going to sell anything, and then meeting people out on the street, let alone in your social network, let alone seeing your neighbor, and you keep saying, yeah, I'm still selling cars, and you're not, then end the struggle now. I know what you're going through. I've been there. I felt like a phony. It's imposter syndrome. I sold not even one car in 1 month. An entire month of nothing, dressing up every day. I know what you're going through. End it. It's a simple solution. Just book a call. That'll cost you nothing. And then decide afterwards whether you want to go ahead with it or not. It's a system, and I warranty the system. I'll hold your hand all the way through to get what you want. And my goal is to help 10,000 automobile salespeople just like you reach their maximum potential this year. So we're on track. We're going to do it. And you can continue to follow along with me. I know one thing's for sure. If you watch enough of these videos, if you follow me long enough, you will become a client. So why wait? Why wait? Why wait to say, Bill, I've followed you for 3 years. I have people who have done that. Followed you for 3 years. Love everything. I've seen everything you've produced. I just don't know why it's not working for me. Because you don't have the system. Get the system. Make life easy. And I will see you next week. Same great time, same great place. We hopefully will have power by then. And at least we've got the internet. Have a wonderful day. Terrific weekend. Talk to you again real soon. For those of you in Ontario, especially Central Ontario. My heart goes out to you. I know what it's like. The pictures are amazing. Send me your ice storm pictures. I received a picture of a student, a client, where a tree crushed their car. Their car is a write-off. So send me your pictures as well, and we'll share them with everybody. Bye-bye for now.